This is my review on Moon Knight. Honestly, a great show overall. I'd say the ranking of the new episode, episode 2, outright I'll probably give it a 9.6 out of 10. Honestly, a great episode. Honestly, a lot of people aren't really liking Moon Knight. I feel like the split personality thing is kind of difficult for people to understand sometimes, like what's happening, and you don't really know which one is actually the real person because he has two different personas, and it kind of goes through each one, Steven and the other guy. Honestly, it's been kind of confusing. One has been American, the other one hasn't. I feel like they've just been a good overall job of pretty much setting up each character into its own thing. And honestly, I like the Mark Spector one more so far. I feel like he's honestly a good persona, and he's just been the best so far. What's your opinion on this, and what do you think? Have you been catching up on Moon Knight, and what's your opinion on it? Honestly, Stephen Grant, I feel like the American persona isn't that entertaining. I like Mark Spector more, and so in the second episode, he's fired from the job for destroying his bathroom. So in the last episode, he's in the bathroom after fighting. He goes there to hide actually, and then Mark takes over and pretty much Steven takes over and becomes takes over the persona of Moon Knight and changes everything. So people send to his house to get the scarab. That's honestly an interesting move. His wife confronts him, and she pretty much tells him that he doesn't remember any of this, and they got divorced and all this other stuff. So he doesn't know of any of this happening. You don't really know if the British one is the real one or the American one. So it's kind of hard to assimilate in general. Honestly, it's insane. Steven finds out that he actually killed someone. So it turns out on his archaeology thing that they actually shot someone, and I feel like morally he kind of has changed with this new persona, but what do you think? I think it's kind of like a deflecting mentalism of, I think he's trying to like hide what he actually did by having this persona, like his mind is. And honestly, the real person, I feel like Steven, he met his wife when he was confused, like she thought he was playing and like just playing around. Oh, I don't remember anything, but she seemed like to catch on after he couldn't pretty much change into Moon Knight. And then he meets the evil guy, and Steven explains, the other guy actually explains about the different Egyptian gods and how the god that he's working for, Khonsu, is actually like disrespected by all the other gods, and really he's more of like a god who punishes people after their judgment, and the other god that he's working with does it before they have a chance to do anything. And he asks him like, would you kill a kid? Because if a kid grows up and becomes evil, what would you do? And he pretty much tries to defend it by saying it's all about judgment and all this other stuff. And it seems like he's an avatar of the god, so that the god kind of controls him and took over his body, which is honestly insane. He asks him, do you think he only took over your body because your head's broken, or were you broken before? So honestly, it seems like that was the reason how the avatar took over, and this has honestly been a great episode. Steven takes over as Moon Knight, and he has like a fancy suit. He pretty much sucks at battling with pretty much the jackal they sent after him. Really the dog, or the Egyptian god dog or whatever, really was no match for the earlier Moon Knight, but now it seems like he really didn't have a control of the power. And he essentially has to take over at the end and really just, I don't know, he just really has to take over and pretty much fight everyone else. And how Steven actually activates his suits is in distress. He actually is about to fall out the window, and it finally activates on. That was pretty interesting. It seems like a lot of people in the public were like, oh, is he doing this for real? Like they didn't know if because no one can see anything. Like no one can see that he's fighting an invisible villain, and that's the main thing. Honestly, pretty interesting. Arthur gets the scarab. Honestly, that was a pretty good scene. He's trying to find like this tomb of the Egyptian god. The other guy takes over, and honestly, that's been pretty interesting. I feel like Mark taking over is kind of a bad thing. He could kind of go evil, but what do you think? He finally gets to Egypt, and he's trying to find the tomb. And then Khonsu says he's actually going to possess his wife, Mark's wife. Honestly, it's kind of getting confused on which one is which, and assimilating the two. Honestly, I feel like they kind of could have done a better job on that. But what do you think? Honestly, it's overall a great show. A lot of action in this episode. A lot more storytelling on like pretty much the gods in general of the Egyptian gods and what's going on, and how he's an avatar of an Egyptian god, and that's why he's so powerful. We haven't seen a lot of his powers. He like ripped off the moon logo off his chest and pretty much beat the dog, and honestly it's been kind of interesting. And it seems like Mark's here to stay, because at the end when he took over the body, he pretty much said he was gonna take it back, give it back ever, and seems like Steven's actually gonna annoy him until he does. But what do you think? Honestly, I think Steven's the better character. He's more morally right. He didn't kill a kid or anything like that. Honestly, I feel like this was a great episode. His wife's introduction was honestly kind of confusing. You were like, is he? Which persona was he using? Like, how did this persona even come true? Was it after the divorce? Because it said the divorce was because the god was actually gonna possess her, so it's just so confusing. You really have to watch this show. One of the best shows on TV, in my opinion. And Marvel's just putting out more bangers after bangers. And honestly, definitely one of the best Marvel shows. I would say it's better than Hawkeye. Oscar Isaac is a great actor. Honestly, probably one of the best actors in the MCU. I feel like he's definitely, I can't wait to see what happens with his character. I feel like a lot of people were very impressed with Moon Knight in general, but what's your opinion? I feel like some people didn't like it, some people did, but comment down below, what do you think? Honestly, I need to get better at some of these reviews. I need to like start laying it out better, but this is only my first couple of times, so I'm pretty new. So it's like, would you rather have the Moon Knight with a suit, Mr. Knight, or Moon Knight? Honestly, I feel like Moon Knight's a lot stronger. It seemed like he had better, pretty much, combat skills. He did say he actually complimented the punch, which honestly was pretty funny. He was like, oh, that was a great punch you threw. Seemed like he was impressed by it, but what do you think? And honestly, Moon Knight is a great character in general. Honestly, I think this is going to be a pretty good introduction. He might get a movie, who knows. I feel like they could maybe introduce him somehow, but if Morbius gets a movie, I really want to see Moon Knight get a movie as well. And it actually takes place after the events of Hawkeye during 2025, which is honestly interesting. It seems like the MCU is kind of going futuristic more. I wonder what they'll really adapt to in general, but what do you think? Honestly, in my opinion, with the MCU, I feel like it's just getting better and better. Hopefully, Doctor Strange in Multiverse of Madness, I think that's probably be the best movie out of in a while for the MCU. I definitely can't wait for that to happen. To watch it in theaters. Hopefully, it comes out. I feel like hopefully there's no delays or anything like that, and it's honestly just gonna be great to watch. Doctor Strange is gonna be great in that movie. Wanda's in that movie as well, and it's honestly gonna be great. And then the Obi-Wan Kenobi, that's honestly gonna be a great show as well. I feel like a lot of people are really looking forward to that. And in other movie news, the Crow reboot is revived with Bill Skarsgård. Honestly, I don't really know about that. I feel like Brandon Lee did die on the set, so I feel like it's kind of, I don't know, it's going to be kind of tough for people to have perceived notion of that being good just because of the sadness that happened on the set in general. I guess not the same movie, but still like the perceived notion of what happened last time they tried to do this movie. Who knows? But what do you think? Honestly, I feel like it really isn't that good of an idea and they should just let it stay. And honestly, the funniest part was like when he said, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, when he was about to punch him in the show. Doing a little Muhammad Ali thing. And have any of you people seen the new Sonic movie? Honestly, it looks pretty good, and I can't wait to see it. But what do you think? And what movies are you really looking forward to see right now? Honestly, there's really not a lot. I feel like Doctor Strange is the main one I've been waiting to see. But what do you think? Comment down below and put your opinion. Peace out. This is Jaden.